heard nothing yet. Wait a minute, I tell you. You ain't heard nothing.
続けてくれ、ルテナント。
Oh, right. I should probably go ahead and get this brought up on screen. Hey, folks, welcome to an early Mechpit chat where I'm kind of trying some new tech. Also, I can hear myself. There we go. I think that should be all set. Yeah, looks like we're going good. And a happy Memorial Day to everyone out there who's celebrating the U.S. We're just kind of settling in, and well, the day's going a little crazy for me, so I got to start early. With that said, though, let's get going here, shall we? We are kind of relaxing. Nice, calm day as we get completely distracted there. Hey, Ultra American TTRPGer, welcome, welcome. Happy Memorial Day to you. Hopefully, you had a pretty good one for yourself because I know I did, and I kind of hurt myself in the process over the weekend, but that was, I think, pretty well cleared away. Why did I click that again? No matter. Because we are rock and roll. I'm just kind of like going, off the hip. We got no plan whatsoever, but we're gonna make the most of it. As hey, uh, look, it's been a long day. I kind of didn't do much today. See, I was off work. It got rained it all day. It's kind of unfortunate because you would think like it'd be the perfect day for grilling out and having all that fun, and it doesn't quite work out that way all the time. But again, it is. But it happens. So some holidays are good, some are bad. And, look, you got to figure if you can get the bad ones out of the way now, then hey, maybe you have some better ones down the road. It's all about sort of that bigger balance of uh the sort of cosmic karma. Like you got to take the lumps and, deal with it while you can before I guess before it kind of goes before the big stuff hits. You did buy more dice though. Not a bad call. I did well, not this weekend, but just recently I did do similar. Uh, I did buy more dice, and I'm sure that it should a couple other people hear this. Well, I would be getting mocked to no end, as I had said in the past. I was gonna kind of hold off on buying dice for a while because I have too many. Well, that's of course one of the things you can't necessarily hold yourself to after a while, and well, I mean, bought more dice. But um, for myself, I wound up buying a couple sets of Q Workshops dice. So what did I buy? Well, actually, let me go ahead and pull this up as we get the screen going. I took a like I've how should I try this? There's been numerous sets I've bought over the years that I thought were fantastical or a lot of fun. Where I'm like, hey, of course I need to own a set of Lord of the Rings dice to have the One Ring in all the dice, and of course I bought those as I try to pull them out of my pack. I've got all sorts in here. Ooh, there we go. Little One Rings buried in them. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up well on this camera, but I assure you there is the One Ring. Apparently, there are 7 of them. So these are the ones made for men. Oh, yeah, no, that's totally doable. Let me find you real quick. My DMs are open. Do me a favor, just send me a Twitter DM, and I'll send you an invite. But anyway, so I bought a number of sets of dice over the years. I've bought some silly ones. I bought gimmicky ones where I thought, hey, this would be good for some stuff going on. I've gone and picked up, some very plain Jane ones. I've picked up some fancy ones. I've got a nice little setup here that I can go ahead and show off for. They have like little liquid core and also have a little recipe inside. So if I want to drink and dice, I can. However, the ones that are kind of currently my favorite set going on are these from Q Workshop. These were theirs, and made in partnership with Seth Skorkowski. I can't help but think these are fantastic dice, and so these are ones that I've had to go out of my way and pick up a couple sets of, just so I always have plenty. And why do I like them? Well, frankly, because they're so easy to kind of see from. Able so easy to see from by sitting over here if I'm running games at the computer, where it they've got a great little color set to them, so you don't have like yellow lettering on green, which kind of for myself anyway can kind of blend together a little bit. Certain colors just don't pair well together on dice, and these I've just come to really enjoy and appreciate. Also, they're kind of fun to look over as like the different sides have different little uh different like recurring patterns to them as they develop, and they're just really some of the coolest ones that I've picked up. So let me see here. Uh, Ultra, here is your link, my friend. Come on, we can hang out and see what's going on. Appreciate it. Hello, Cotton Ministries. Namaste. Or now there should be some very fuzzy phrase to throw out. Not sure. Anyway, uh, yeah, no, these I adore these dice. They're fantastic. I can't. These are ones I had to have like 2, 3 sets of for I have a set of dice I leave at a friend's house for running some stuff with, playing over there. I have a couple sets I have to have here, and it's like these have become the ones that are my go tos. That frankly, if I'm going to be using any set, it's going to be these. Plus, like, there's just something about like that kind of ivory bone that I just really enjoy. Hang on. We have someone jumping in the back here. Let's see. What do we have for him? Ah.
Lancelot, launch!
Hello.
Hello. I have no clue what show that was. Well, you kind of came in through a little muted there. I couldn't hear you.
No, I don't hear anything from you.
Oh, hold on. All right, hold on. Test. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I mean, I see you, but I can't hear you. I don't know. Maybe somehow it's just me. But it's weird because I can play stuff on the desktop, and the all seems to be going through fine. But
hold on. Let me leave and come back. Hold on.
Nothing.
Let's try it again. All right, hang on. Let me exit this, and then.
Okay, that's being weird. Well, then what's going on? If Philip says he can hear us both, then maybe it's possible it's me, because I've gone and added this extra stuff into the audio setup, but I haven't quite fully worked it all in. Let's see. Input device. What if we change? Let's see. Aux output. We'll try something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I don't hear that. Let me.
Because everyone says they can hear me for some reason. So
it was all mine.
You dumbass.
Well, look. I get told by the common nerd, hey, get this little sound mixer thing, and I'm like, hey, cool, I'll pick this up. I get it, and I'm like, hey, let's check this thing out. I plug it in, and I'm like, well, shit, now I have to go change my whole setup around, I have buttons I can push now to do things. Like apparently I can reverb if I want.
Oh, cool. Oh, there's a chat right there. I can see the chat. Oh, but I can't
But
send messages to the chat in here. Okay.
yeah, it's a little weird. Whoa.
Hey! All right. So here's one of the sets I dice I got. Just some black and green chess X dice
Very
from my
simple,
local
very
game shop, and then I bought these today. I'm taking the habit. I got some red, white, and blue mini dice.
America.
Yeah, because I'm going to be attending my first con come July. There's one happening in my local area.
So so then I guess I should ask, is it a con where you're gonna have like tables set up where you could sign up for games?
Oh yeah, it's a full on event. There's a huge 40K tournament that's going to be going on. That's got its own separate like pay sign up for that. It's being hosted mostly by the Meeple Academy, so it's a lot of board games, tabletop games, and stuff. And you can also sign up for TTRPGs and stuff. I'm going to be because I already signed up. I'm just waiting for them to prove it. I'm taking Horde Wars Basic there, see if I can get some new people hooked up, and maybe find some people I can play locally with. Because I'm so used to online playing, I've been wanting to do a local game for like an in-person game for such time now.
Yeah. I'm surprised with how much little bit how much like attention I keep seeing Horde Wars getting. Like it's constantly getting that little engine that could sort of push to it where it's it keeps going. And
Yeah,
I'm impressed with the tenacity.
I mean, I've been enjoying it. I still do the domain play. I got both a soft cover and a hardcover, a book of the advanced game. So basically, the hardcover for me, and then the soft cover would be the pass around to my players so they need to look something up or whatever. So that way they didn't have, if they don't have the PDF or a book on hand, I was just like, here, look through that really quick if you need to. Basically, that's why I did it.
And but that's the fun thing we have right now because there's a lot of these little games like that that are just keep going that have their little fan bases to them that are able to keep them going and perpetuating them. And you know, they're not ultimately going to be they're not going to become these top dogs overnight. Like nothing's going to be take that place of D&D outside of itself just completely stabbing shooting themselves in the foot. But you know what?
They
The thing is,
are having
they don't have to. Ultimately, it's not a matter of someone has to take up the banner and you overtake them. They just have to drop it. It's their game to lose.
Yeah, I do remember they do already have some events, some sponsored events that are going on. I know they're having a couple different D&D games on as usual. I did see they're having a Shadow Dark sponsored event happening at the convention, surprisingly enough. But I think it's based on a book that was made though by one of the people there. Hold on, trying to find it really quick because I
Now,
I remember.
I guess I should ask: uh, is this one of the larger cons, or is this like a kind of medium to kind of like more dedicated sort of con?
I would definitely say it's probably like one of the more medium but dedicated cons in the area because I guess they said last year they had like 350 people total. So I don't know if that will increase or not this year. I would like to think that with the rise we've seen in kind of like 40K and like the TCRPG hobby in kind of general, there may be more people. Plus, it's also a board game focused con as well. So there's going to be a lot of different. They have basically what's going to be a play to win on board games. So you can like play board games to win them as well. As well be happening at this con as well.
Gotcha. So, is this a convention where there's going to be a lot of like official, like a lot of the games are going to be out there themselves, or this is more the community fan oriented size? Of course, with 350, that's seems to be more that fan size.
Yeah. Hold on. I know because I'm just looking at like again. I just found it out about this week. So when I was looking up, there's not like panels or anything that I'm going to be seeing. Catalyst Games is a sponsor of this con apparently, as Funko Games, Rebirth Games, Mayday Games. just a bunch of different. Yeah, because a lot of tabletops, a bunch of different games are helping to sponsor this. And I'm just checking.
Catalyst.
Oh,
You
that's
know
a
what?
game store I see on here. Yeah.
Catalysts are one of the eternal like cockbags, but
Yeah.
and they keep making people, pissing people off. And the thing is ultimately, BattleTech, Shadowrun are like their two big games they have. They, by all rights, they should be doing better than they are, but I don't know what it is about them, but fundamentally it seems like they're just trying to kind of survive off of like Kickstarter campaign to Kickstarter campaign for games to just like kind of keep the previous one funded or something. It seems like, because I know people from like their a couple of, oh, what was it? No, I've been hearing stories of people from previous campaigns who are still missing product.
Oh, from Catalyst Game Stuff or something?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? All right. Sorry, I was just looking through. It looks like my games got approved, so I will officially be running Horde Wars Basic Saturday and Sunday morning of the con. And I'm planning
Hey.
at least about 4 or 5 hours because I know I want to take my time with it, but I don't want to run like a bunch of games in one day. I want to still be able to enjoy my first con experience because like it starts on Friday, but I may or may not go to work Friday. So depending on that, I'll spend Friday just kind of walking around, getting a feel for the place, talking to people, maybe play a couple games myself if there's any openings and stuff. So yeah, because I've heard horror stories about people who try to like just run games all throughout the con. They just get so burnt out from doing that.
Yeah, it's important to pace yourself. Let's see. To be honest, I didn't like
Hmm.
BattleTech tabletop. The whole damage calculation pain in the ass. What, you mean you don't like Gator? Which, for BattleTech, they have this acronym to figure out the damage calculation. That's kind of stuck. That's becomes this like a little iconic piece of the game. But whatever
They're
it takes.
running the. Go ahead.
No. What are they running?
I just because I forgot they mentioned they're running the Power Rangers RPG there too, the one by Renegade Games.
Okay,
Yeah, so I thought
not
I
a bad one to
saw.
play.
Yeah, I didn't like that one because I bought the PDF like right as it came out, and I tried to read through it. I'm just like, it became a good confused bundled mess to me.
It was a bit rough off the bat. The one thing I didn't care for with the Power Rangers RPG, and this is sort of the overall fundamental idea, was that they more or less married the classes to the colors, and that
Hmm.
always kind of bothered me because they're basically, for that core game, they're essentially built off of the personalities of the Mighty Morphin era of Power Rangers, which has always been one of the things that's bothered me, frankly, when it came to the franchise, was that, well, that it's like everything lies on the altar of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's like, yeah, look, I like that era too. I remember being a kid when that first came out, but guys, there's more to this franchise than just we need dinosaur power. It's like,
In my honest opinion, Power Rangers stopped being good after Wild Force ended. I never got into it after Wild Force. Like I watched Ninja for a little bit, but it didn't catch my attention as much. Like when it was from about Power. Let me think, because I watched Mighty Morphin, didn't watch Turbo, didn't watch Zeo. So when it went from Power Rangers Space all the way up to the end of Wild Force was its peak, I think, because you went Space, Lost Galaxy, uh, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, and then Wild Force in that order, I believe. I don't know if I missed any of them or not.
I think, I'm trying to think for myself. Lightspeed Rescue might have been the last one I potentially watched. I know that Time Force was definitely like up there as one of the last ones for me.
If I had to pick like my all-time favorite one, I remember Time Force was my absolute favorite Power Rangers series. I even had when I had my Game Boy Advance when I was young at the time. I had the Time Force Power Rangers Game Boy Advance game, and I repeatedly beat that game over and over again. And I always was a fan of the Quantum Ranger that they had for their Sixth Ranger in that series too.
I've been slowly going through and kind of watching through the Super Sentai like Mirai Time Rangers.
Hmm.
It's also pretty good, but it for as good as it is,
Did I put it up here? Or
it was
no, I
one of
didn't.
those it was one of these rare series where the well, maybe not rare series. It was one of the series where the Mighty Morphin or the American show frankly was able to have a more complex story. It frankly had some better storytelling to it, but the original show is still good.
Yep. So I bought this through a third party site. It's called Sentai and Sensibilities. It was released by a Ninth Level Gaming, and it's like if you combine Sentai with Pride and Prejudice. It takes place in that era, but then you also have everyone being Power Rangers. You have the politics that kind of goes through that Victorian area, but then you're also finding the kaiju's and all that. And it uses what's called the polymorph system. So whatever ranger type you are, you have that one specific dice that you roll for everything, and all the moves you do have specific numbers you have to achieve for it.
You know, I remember seeing this game when it was launched on Kickstarter. It was something I kept meaning to go back and check out, but it sort of escaped me. And I mean, to its credit, they're asking for about $2,000, and they managed to get $40,000. So they've got their little game. So
Ninth level games
congratulations
from
to them.
Ninth level games for me is hit and miss because they do kind of go that woke route with some of their games. Like there was one game they released about I guess like non-binary werewolves or something like that. That was like a storytelling card game or something. I don't even remember. But they've had other games that I've seen or owned that are actually not bad though. So it's one of those hit and miss companies for me. It's like if I was to do the red, yellow, green light system, I would put under a yellow light.
It's you know it. Oh god, I remember that whole fiasco that went along was like the whole like how dare people create like a list to woke games.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was that whole problem because the first time I ever heard it was when I first started getting into diversity and dragons, watching all his stuff, and he did a video talking about all that because I think that was through pundits RPG pundits site that
Mhm.
the whole thing was published through.
I think actually come to think about it, I think I still have a list for that, but the problem is that thing is at this point would be so out of date that there's probably been a lot of stories that have come along that we overlooked. Not to mention you've now had the Trump assassination happen. You've had his reelection. You've had the tariffs. Like there's been so many little things along the way. I'm sure if any of those companies are in Canada, then they're going to be more especially quick to make a statement.
Yeah, there's one game that I saw on Kickstarter. I'm probably going to end up talking about it in one of my next lives with the Wicked Conservative because that's one thing we've been doing is we talk about stuff from both the side of culture and the side of politics, which is what we did for the last thing I did with her was the Mad as Hell RPG review. So people, if you're not following me on Rumble, go check that out. Do a little shameless self promotion right there. It's the anti-capitalist capitalism because the game was selling itself as an anti-capitalist demon hunting RPG. Well, I told you about this before, I think one time on one of the streams we did on together.
I mean, it's possible.
It probably is. Who knows? There's so much that stuff like that out there. It's like I probably could say the same thing about something, and there's probably 10 games that go with it or whatever at this point. But the game I'm going to talk about is called it's by a Canadian company called I'm going to butcher the name. It's like Dynamsky Publishing or something like that. It's a Canadian company, and it's called Heart Attack. And it's about fighting. It's about fighting the power with powers.
Huh.
Oh, hey, it's Grim Jim. How you doing?
Oh yes, especially though. Oh.
That is actually ironically scary how much you do actually look like Grim Jim with those glasses on.
I I had I had I had a similar thought. So last year I went to go and get some new prescription sunglasses, and I'm looking through it. I'm like, yeah, I like my Ray Bans because aviators, a classic style. I'm going through. They're like, well, we can't. They're like, well, here's a couple of different options. I pick up a pair that would look like this, and my first thought was, it's just just gonna steal Grim's look, aren't I?
You just need the hat now. That's all you need is the hat.
You know, the thing is, I've stopped and I've looked at hats before, and every time I pick one up that I like, I'm like, is this something I saw Grim wear? And I stop and I put it back. I'm like, no, not today.
Yeah, but because he does switch hats now that I think about it. Sometimes it's like a cowboy hat. Sometimes it's like one of those berets or whatever those things are called. It's like, I don't know. Like one of
Tell
those
you what.
newspaper boy hats or something.
Hang on. Wait. Let me get a hat. I know a hat that Grim wouldn't wear.
All right, I am stealing the show. The show is mine now. So, anyways, hello to anyone who doesn't know me. I am Hunter, aka also the Ultra American Teacher RPGer. I am at Ultra Teacher RPGer on X, and I just like to talk about culture war, how it ties in with politics, and kind of anything and everything in between. And I do talk about Teacher RPGs from time to time. I actually today, if you go to the Red Room's website, I released a new module for the Retro RPG called Wretched Dixie, and you can download that absolutely for free off their website.
A hat for your hat.
I'm not sure what if the star is supposed to mean anything, or if that's a logo or anything, but I can see that. A little bit of Grim from there.
It was. Fuck, I have to see it a little bit. No, it was. It's actually from Mr. Medicare. One of the old school internet, blood sports shitlords.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of the shitlords, I don't know if you have been following this on X, but there's this. I guess he's a retired or former race car driver that goes by Camelcast on X.
Oh, Camelot.
And he was supposed to go to this Geek and Game Expo, and then they decided, no, we're going to remove you because we don't like some of the stuff you post. I don't know if you've been seeing all that fiasco going on or not.
No, I've totally missed that one. By the way,
yeah.
How do I sound, by the way, with the new microphone?
I mean, on my end, you sound fine to me. But again, with my connection, I never know half the time how it's going to sound. So, yeah, but apparently he got kicked out of the game. It's a Game and Geek Expo. The president of that expo actually called him, and because Camelot lives in a one-part consent state, he recorded the call and posted it on X. And the guy was just the president was just all over the place, and several other people that were originally slated to go to that expo have now removed their events from it now because of all this.
So it's a little bit of the Kirche effect again.
Yeah, except with the fact that it's, instead of it being an online space, it's now an actual space, which would be really popular because the guy, if I recall correctly, Camelcast, because I'm calling him Camelcast because that's what I've been seeing his name as, said that several people said from the email he got, several people reached out to the staff at the Game and Geek Expo talking about the stuff he posted on X, and they sent the stereotypical email like, "Oh, we want this to be a safe environment. We want everyone to be able to safely have fun," kind of deal. It was that kind of a BS email basically, and he just took it to X and it went off from there.
It's so frustrating because you want to think that eventually we get to a point where these sorts of pushes would just stop and go away, but the sad reality is, no. Apparently, it's just not going to stop.
Yeah, I am. Go ahead.
I think there's a bit of a misconception that people think that the wokeness is going to be put away, that all these tactics are going to be done and put away, when no, that's not true. It's going to keep happening. It's just you're probably going to see fewer cases and far between. It's not going to have the same sort of impact, the same sort of effect to cause a lot of social change. There will still be wins, there will still be losses. Yeah. But it's just not going to be quite the same as it was in like 2015, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, definitely. It won't. It definitely hasn't died down, but it's definitely not going away. That's something I've actually thought about in the back of my head, because while people in some Discord, when I've told them, have joked about it, the question does need to be said. When I go to this con, how much woke is actually going to be there? If I take Horde Wars, which is very much based on medieval Europe, and actually does have like a lot of words related, because you have crusaders in there, you have priests in there, you have tavern wenches in there. if do I have to worry about someone coming to my table that signs up for this game, not for the first time, suddenly getting offended just because the creator of this game put words in it they didn't like?
I would say, to be honest, I would say you're probably gonna be safe with that. Ultimately, ultimately, the barrier for for a lot of the hatred is success, and like I don't have an exact number for it, but I think what we're seeing is there's a nebulous some sort of threshold to where you start developing haters, where a certain percentage of those haters are going to try to find ways to sabotage.
I just like to think of James Franco from the beginning of that movie, The Interview. They're just peanut butter and jealous. I mean, that was honestly before James Franco Seth Rogen went crazy. The Interview was a really great movie at the time when it was released.
So the way I see it, you're gonna ultimately see, you know, people who are gonna try to go in, try to push their messaging onto onto the platform, onto the cause, onto the product, what have you will. And if you refuse to bend the knee, if you refuse to play ball, they're going to try and you know force you to comply.
I
And
guess we'll just see how it goes.
if you refuse to play ball, that's when the little fine knives start coming out. They have to start poking at you and picking at you and tearing down everything you have, everything you value. And I mean, it that seems to be by and large the playbook we keep seeing over and over again. I mean, am I wrong?
Nope. We need alongside my Alex Jones's right jar, I need an Iron Castor's right jar.
Yeah, it's it's Castile.
Castile, Iron Castile. I love that little pun though when it comes to I cast iron. You cast what? Bong.
Pink. Oh, that's a good one. So, how was your weekend, by the way?
Fairly busy. Family came in town, spent a lot of time with them, ate a lot of food. Let me think. We did trying to think on Friday. Friday we didn't do much of anything. We just kind of hung out. Saturday though we did. What did we have on Saturday? I think we just kind of hung out for lunch, ate some leftover stuff that my parents had, and then my mom got a one of those pasta maker things for a birthday gift because she took a pasta lesson class with some friends, and so we did her homemade family spaghetti recipe, but we made our own noodles this time, which weren't the best, weren't the worst. It's hitting. You gotta make. It was our first time actually making pasta, so it was kind of a trial and error process, but it was edible. So we had spaghetti and meatballs on Saturday, and then Sunday we did what's the word? They were like really good like tenderloin burgers that we just had with us and some family friends, and so a lot of food. And then today it was just kind of been raining on and off. Monday's usually my clean up and get everything done before I start work tomorrow. So
So, I had mentioned I had kind of at the start of the stream. I had mentioned kind of hurting myself over the weekend. So Saturday we're celebrating at the house here my nephew's birthday, which was why I wasn't around Saturday for T-shirt stream. There's like a dozen cars in the yard. We had tons of people constantly going in and out of the house, kids screaming, the whole shebang. My nephew's got one of the my nephew's got one of those little play jeeps, the little kids jeeps that my brother has gone and souped up. I put a bunch of like Milwaukee batteries into, so it could just go all day, and we don't have to bother about recharging it.
yeah, my son has one of those too.
So I'm out in the yard. We're hanging out. We're talking, kind of doing the get together stuff. I look out over across the yard. Past all the quads racing around in the yard, past all the little go karts and vehicles my brother's been souping up. Yeah, we didn't have any of the racing lawnmowers, out there this time. But anyway, this kids drive this little Jeep, and it's going right towards one of the cars, like right for the side panel door. I
Oh
see
yeah.
this, like Oh shoot! So I make a mad dash across the driveway to go and catch him in time. I do. I felt something kind of tear in my leg. Like I go to go to walk, take that first step after. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So
Did you pull a muscle or something, or
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
oof?
it's mostly gone now, but for basically all of yesterday, kind of it's like unless I walk a certain way, I'm gonna feel it.
Yeah, I work a very physically demanding job, which I would much rather do than sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, despite it being physically demanding. So there's some days where it's like I may like step wrong, or I just lift something the wrong way, and my then for like the rest of the week, my arm is just sore as heck. But I'm still like pushing through it, trying to get my crap done and all that. So
There is something appealing to there is something appealing to be said about it with those manual labor jobs. I can always kind of keep an earbud in I can always keep an earbud in and I'll be listening to some audiobook, or I can go through and learn about the Horus Heresy or what have you. Which always pretty nice to have. So
I do that too with all my different game podcasts and my news shows I like to listen to. I just do that. But who knows? Like, okay, they're saying they're already got machines in the works that could possibly do our job for us within like the next 10 years or so. Apparently, if it works. So, I mean, because they're wanting robots to take over everything at warehouses.
hmm yeah, I mean the unfortunate thing is it seems like, everyone yes, automation is coming for the most part, but a lot of what we're seeing now is mostly just a lot of the white collar work is getting replaced where we just have an algorithm like to figure this stuff out for us that we don't need these people. Whereas it seems like it's just a lot of the manual labor jobs are just kind of bulletproof from that stuff. Like, you're not going to be getting a machine to lay down shingles for the unique properties of your roof and make it at certainly any sort of meaningfully transportable fashion.
Yeah, because the idea is like I think they're trying to figure out how to make a bot that can like stack boxes onto pallets, and then they want like an automated like forklift machine that can pick up the pallet and take it to the truck. Is the
I'm
idea
kind
is what they're going for?
I'm surprised they haven't. I'm surprised the oversimplification just wasn't, just conveyor belts. We just run this down to the truck where we could then load it up.
That's what I do at my job. There's like because okay, so I live in Northwest Arkansas, so you can probably figure out which popular store franchise I work for from there. I'm not going to say it out loud publicly, but I work at the main distribution center, so we ship out to most of Middle America. And literally, where the area that I work at, which is shipping, we have a huge conveyor belt that goes over the line, and then it splits into like we have like maybe 100 different trailers lined up with their own conveyor belts. That so stuff comes down these lines. We have extendables that go into the trailers. So we literally are getting them into the trailers, and we stack them in the trailers. That literally is my job. It's what I do for 10 hours, 10 hours a day, 4 days a week.
That's not bad. I mean, it's steady work at least.
I mean, I make good money doing it. I'm not complaining too much about it. It's like the only problem is as much as I thought about, oh, maybe I want to do something else because I don't want to have like a bad back in like the next 30 years. There's no other job out there that's going to pay me as much as I make currently.
That's the challenge. Let me see. What do we have? So let me ask: are you much of a comic fan?
Depends on the comic.
Well, there was at least one little piece of news I thought I would just kind of touch on real quick, and this is a bit of an unfortunate thing here, because in the realm of comics, we lost a legend this weekend.
Oh, I think I may know who you're talking about, but the name just escapes me at the top of my head because I've been seeing it all over. Yep, that guy.
Yeah,
I saw people posting about him.
yeah. Peter David unfortunately passed away this week, and it stinks because like I I've gone back, I've read some of his stuff. I really enjoy his work, and he's sadly passed on. Kind of the most prolific thing that comes to mind for me is his run on Aquaman. He's kind of the guy who turned Aquaman around, and in the comics anyway, made him kind of a badass character in the '90s. Like right when like the late '80s, early '90s was when you had all these big changes. Where like We killed Superman. We broke Batman's back. All these things were happening. Well, around that same time, though, we were also getting things like Aquaman had his hand eaten by piranha, and he got this cool metal hook. Like that bit you saw in like Justice League came out of his work.
I was about to say, anyone who grew up watching Justice League or Justice League Unlimited remembers that episode when, in order to save his son, Aquaman had to like remove his hand.
Mm-hmm. That was taking bits of a much older story because the death of the Aqua Baby had happened years before, and that was such a great take on that story because it hits home in a way that anyone can feel. Anyone could understands.
Yeah, I see a lot of clips of like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited get shared around really recently, and then you compare that to what we have now, and I almost kind of wish we went back to that day. I know they tried to kind of bring that style back with it was like a new Justice League animated film where they had a Miss Martian in it. I forget what the name it was, and like a character named Starboy or something. It was an animated film, but it had that Justice League Unlimited art style to the movie.
Let's see what I can pull up just to kind of give you a little rundown and show off some of his work that he's done over the years. I mean, just the easy one that I can show off is just some of his Marvel era stuff. Especially
Oh,
especially
sorry, I'm
the
leaning in.
especially late 80s or the 90s. Like
Okay,
some of his run at X Factor, his stuff with Incredible Hulk, She Hulk, Captain America. He's hit a lot of the big prominent characters. Spider-Man 2099. Like these might not all be
does that say Symbiote Spider-Man 2099?
yes. Oh wow, actually
Is that
sorry.
okay?
I'm
That's a
oh yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
On the top of that comic book, it said Symbiote Spider-Man 2099.
Yep. Yeah, it's anytime Marvel can kind of cash in on a gimmick, they're going to. Like we had we had the Spider Verse. Well, then we also had to have the Venom verse.
Yeah. Well, I would like to. That would be an interesting comic to see, like a futuristic Venom Spider-Man kind of deal. That'd be interesting to read about.
Yeah, let me go ahead. If we just switch over here, just to show you a little fuller scale of everything he's worked on. We've well, there we go. He did some stuff for Alien Nation, Battlestar Galactica. These are just the novels he's done. There's because it's so prominent in my mind. There was an issue of
Interesting. I'm just reading over all the titles. So, I mean, of course, I don't know most of them. So,
I mean, the thing is he's worked in a lot of the prominent sci-fi stuff. Like he wrote a novel for Halo. He's we keep scrolling down. He wrote some of the movie novelizations,
oh, cool.
some Babylon 5 novels. We get to his
Hmm.
comic stuff, you get to see just how prolific he was. He did Powerpuff Girls, The Phantom, Danger of the Forbidden City, the miniseries.
I think it's interesting to hear that Powerpuff Girls had its own comic book run at one point.
Nowadays, I would have expected to be like Dynamite putting that out, making it and doing some like kind of weird gritty take on it, like they're doing with Space Ghost right now. Which, by the way, the current Space Ghost comic is fantastic.
Why does that name sound familiar? Isn't that one that kind of looks like Batman, but it's like a white outfit and it's like a bald black head? Is that who I'm thinking of? Is that Space Ghost?
Basically, you
Oh,
might even be thinking of the Space Ghost Coast to Coast TV show.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because there was that, and then there was like Birdman or something like that. Was it
Harvey
another
Birdman.
one?
There
Yep,
you go.
yep. That's who I was thinking about. Space Ghost. I remember seeing. I didn't watch it a lot, but I remember seeing the cartoons from time to time.
The current comic is sort of this hard. He's this hardened guy who's lost everything, and now basically dedicates his whole life to justice, to vengeance, and making sure people aren't being aren't being threatened by the wicked. And plus, he has like 2 sidekicks and a monkey. I fully recommend it. It's continued to be just a really good book. Plus, they're about 12 issues in, and it's just rocking and rolling.
You said you talked about his partner being a monkey. That just made me think of what if it was the duo from the old My Gym Partners, a monkey TV show. They just became Space Ghost and his sidekick.
So there was his Aquaman run. He went 46 issues, mid 90s. He did some Captain Marvel stuff, Fantastic Four. He on some of the original Marvel Cinematic Universe comic books tie-ins.
Oh, that's cool.
Which, by the way, for a time, Marvel was doing movie tie-in comics. But
that makes sense.
But then it just became easier just to ultimately wrap the existing comics around whatever we're doing with the movies, because we flipped that coin.
Yeah, or just make a TV show about whatever was happening in between.
Lots and lots of Hulk. Oh, hang on. We have someone popping in the back here. Give me one moment. Let's yeah, what the heck?
Get the flamer. The heavy flamer.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, happy Memorial Day and all that jazz.
Yep.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yep.
Just kind of going over, just kind of looking at a little bit of news of from the little bit of sad story from the comic side of things.
Yeah. Oh, what happened?
Comic writer Peter David passed away. Yeah, which I really enjoyed some of the stuff, and so I had to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But it happened.
It happens. Yeah.
Whoa.
Sounds like you got something moving around back there.
Oh, on my end?
Yeah, it sounds like a little cocoon or something.
Oh yeah, someone turn on the dryer.
Oh.
If I can't turn myself down a bit more, see if that
perfect timing. Well, I don't hear it anymore currently. I just heard it for that little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's true. DJ Ronnie. He also did write a bunch of Star Trek novels.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, a true nerd.
Oh yeah, he had a big thumb over so many of the sci-fi franchises. I'm sure if I were to look back at that, he would probably also have some Stargate. I know he did some Star Wars. Gator.
Yep. That was into the Star Wars.
Okay, every time you say Gator, I keep thinking about the movie that Will Ferrell, Mike Wahlberg did, where Will Ferrell's character used to be a pimp named Gator. So I don't know if that's supposed to be references that, or if I'm missing another reference.
Oh no, that's my little goblin puppet. His name is Gator the Goblin.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Gator the Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the Anime Con this weekend. That was fun. Yeah, a lot of Gunpla love. My goodness, I was super happy about the model kit freaking just array. There's at least 5 different booths that had multiple levels of Gunpla, not just 1 or 2 on a shelf. It was 2 shelves worth of it. There was 5 of them. One of them was straight up. Actually, no, there was 2 booths that were straight up just Gunpla mostly. It was great.
Yeah, let's let's do a favor here. Let's introduce him to Gator as I pull up a clip for them.
Oh no.
Yes, this means you have to like listen to yourself now.
There's
Here
many
we go.
clips that I'm like, oh god, like is it bad or is it really bad? Oh no, there's our little gator guy.
Oh, I think I've seen those clips pop up a time or two before.
Yeah, well, that's because you watched them. In fact, you already know
Yeah.
this video.
Have I? Well, I guess I'll find out if I remember it or not.
Yeah, and just like me, you should have clicked the like button on this. See how mine is clicked?
All right, it's Gator the Goblin again. I'm here at the best ride in the whole fair. A lot of people tell me there are not any rides here, but everyone's like lining up and just raring to go. That's right, I'm by the Porta Johns. Yeah! Everyone's lining up, all anxious to go and whatnot. And everyone's satisfied when they leave, so it must be a good ride.
Always lines for the Porta Johns, no matter where you go.
I know it's a shit joke.
All right. All right. Well, I just subscribed to you on YouTube, so.
Yay!
Oh, I just got what you just said. Shit joke! I can't believe it took me a second to process that.
It's okay. It's okay. So, sometimes I'm just the wit does not stop with me. It just all this, all the council consoles and stuff like that, and I play a witty character, and it doesn't turn off even when I'm just being myself.
No, see, in the end, you always kind of take a little bit of them with you, where it's like,
Yeah.
For example, for me, with Gator, it's just like it's all the love Snacks has of Star Wars. For me, with Charlie, it's just like that total gullibility where it's like you believe whatever you're told. Like, really?
Yeah, Gator is he's a witty character of chaos,
No, it's funny we talk about puppets because I'm a big follower. I love Agronax Studios, which is DM Wisdom and his dragon puppet Zoth, and all his friends also do some of the puppet stuff with him as well. They do some really good, and a lot of his reviews that he's done too are really great as well.
To give a little context for you, Snacks, Agronax Studios is another YouTuber who does puppet stuff, but he's looking at it through the lens of tabletop role playing games. So it's a lot of D&D and other supplementary games, and he
cool.
has puppets.
Oh.
Yeah, DM Wisdom and Zoth.
Very, very different than me. Yeah, no.
No.
I only I've got a goblin, a minotaur, and a yeti, and a green slime. Yeah.
But we don't talk about green slime.
No.
It's like Superman's pink kryptonite. We don't talk about that.
No, he'll take over the show, and he'll demand for us down at him.
It's like I love the story behind the pink kryptonite of Superman. Still to this day, I crack up every time I hear about it because they did it on one of those Dimension 20 shows. They talked about it, and what was really funny was the comic that kryptonite starred in came out in 2003, and it blew all their minds that it came out at such a time. It was 2003.
Yep.
Of course, Superman comics are known for a lot of weirdness, a lot of silliness. It's to the point where they have the phrase "super dickery" to kind of cover it all.
Yep.
So Snacks. How's your anime watching been going? Have you been catching up on anything?
I've been watching most of the stuff I like. So, obviously Geekwax. I built the Gunpla this weekend. I bought it and built it at the con because there was literally a room, which there was a room just for like building Gunpla and hanging out, like straight up just nipping and nagging. Oh, that was my go-to room. My goodness. And I also bought I was probably show you a picture on Twitter, but the Zegok was there too. I got Char's custom real grade Zegok, and I built that at the con too. So I built two, and I bought two, and then I built those two before I left the con. Oh, what a weekend! But apart from doing that at the Anime Con, I will tell you I've been keeping up with Apothecary Diaries. Yes, I finally cracked into that, and it's good. I do enjoy it.
I've been seeing that one getting a lot of buzz, a lot of attention. I think it was one of those ones that did that one sweep the Crunchyroll Anime Awards? No, that would have been Solo Leveling, but I want to
It
say
might
that
have.
won some.
Yeah, I love Solo Leveling. I'm all up to date with Solo Leveling.
So I have to ask, why is everyone hating on Soul Leveling for winning the awards so much? Because from what I heard, Soul Leveling was a decent anime.
It's great. I liked it too. I have no qualms with it. I think it's just people being like just wanting to bitch at something.
Well,
Honestly,
Solo Leveling is kind of your entry grade normie tier anime, which I'm not shitting on. I'm not saying it's bad for that because I
yeah,
enjoyed it myself. But
it was great.
the thing was, it was just aura farming hype, the aura farming hype anime. When you had shows like Free Run and Delicious and Dungeon that were out this during the same time frame, that
Oh
got
yeah,
completely hosed by it. That basically like, hey, the popular shonen anime flavor of the month just completely overswept everything of with a little bit of more nuance and taste.
yeah. Like
Because by all accounts, like Frieren should have won Anime of the Year, but at the end of the day, it's a popularity contest.
it is, and you know what? I probably would have picked Freeman as well. I'm trying to remember what else came out last year, because it's like Anime of the Year awards, but it was like last year's awards, right? Technically,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was essentially like your 2024 stuff. So we still had the last bit of like no Nova. Sorry, Cat's trying to come back up. Because you basically are going from April to April.
Oh, it's April to April. Okay, so it's kind of weird time frame for that, but
Well, it's based
yeah,
off
yeah.
of like it's largely based off like the fiscal year.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
a lot of businesses all do that as their calendar year. So
gotcha,
just
gotcha. That makes sense. Um, with that being said, yeah, well, yeah, that's like it is kind of like last year or last year summer, I should say, because that's usually like the big months is the summer months, right?
hmm
Not to say there aren't bangers that hop in spring, or hell, even in winter sometimes. But yeah, no, still free run. I'm still like cashing in free run for the best one. Soul leveling would be a good like silver medalist though.
I would be willing to grant it that as the best action anime.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, did
Uh,
it win like best overall or something bullshit like that?
oh yeah, no, it totally swept. Here, let me go back over this tab. Here's the list of anime of the year. Solo Leveling, film of the year. Look back. Best continuing series, Demon Slayer. Best new series,
Yeah,
Solo Leveling. Best original anime, Ninja Kamui. Best animation, Demon Slayer. Best character design, Dan to Dan. Best director, Keiichiro Saito for Frieren. Best background art, Frieren. Best romance, Box Blue. Best comedy, Mashal. Best action, Solo Leveling. Best
yeah. I don't even know if it's a popularity contest because it feels like there's some like some greasing wheels happening in there. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Sung Jin-woo is not the best protagonist.
No, no, he's not. But like that
But
that goes to our boy Rayburn.
mm-hmm. Yeah, let's. Do I even have anything loaded from it? No, I don't. Shoot. Otherwise, I would have played the clip. It's a shame. Look at this.
Yeah.
Best voice actor. Best voice actor. Best voice actor.
Is that best voice? I'm sorry, I don't even care about voice acting. I don't. Sorry,
And it's
it's
even
like
like every one of the prominent nations even get prominent languages gets a best voice actor performance.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's just like one category I don't really care. Just like at Anime Con, it's all like, go see our voice actors, get an autograph by them. I'm like, oh no, thank you.
I still I haven't watched anything new. I got like 2 episodes. I got 2 episodes into Records of Lodoss War, and then I just haven't
Ooh,
watched it again since. I needed to finish it though because I don't know
that's a
what
good
it
anime. I love
is.
that one.
Yeah, I mean, I follow people that were talking about it. Like I've literally was following like it was like Record of Lodoss War accounts on X, and I'm like, what is this show that you share so much about? And
It
so I
is
checked
the
it out.
anime of sword and sorcery. It is amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I actually have the translated the description of like the Dungeons and Dragons game that it was based on too. I found someone translated the like it was like the first 8 sessions of that campaign that Records of Lodoss War was based around,
Oh, nice.
and there's just something about the way that when you could tell that the anime style how it was drawn compared to how it was made like on the computer with the compared to how all the stuff we see now. When I see an old show like Record of Lodoss War or stuff, I just feel like I appreciate that so much more now than than the crap we have now.
Yeah, the cell shading versus the
Hand
the
drawn.
hand drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I found once again, this movie is a D&D game in its own right. Disney's The Black Cauldron. That was like one of my favorite Disney movies growing up, and just the love and
Munchies
attention
and
that the
crunchies
people.
in here somewhere.
Hmm?
Yep. I said munchings and crunchings in here somewhere.
Oh yeah, the dog. That's right. Munchies and Crunchies in here somewhere.
Gotta love Gurgi.
Yeah, but the art style, like how the cartoon animation of the characters with the like the painted backgrounds they were walking in front of throughout the whole movie was just really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing you don't see anymore. Even in like Disney's is like everything's 3D, and you don't have like a classic animation no more. Which I kind of want them to do something, you know?
Yeah,
Because I'd
but it
watch
was
it,
but
but
I actually
nobody's
remember
gonna do it.
I remember talking about actually this with when I did my If AI Was Friend or Foe live stream a couple months back. Was there may be people out there that still can do like the hand drawn animation, but those are so short and few though. And just like how it is with people in like trading occupations like plumbers, electricians, those
Yep,
people are soon going to die out. And if there's no one to take their place, it's going to be a lost art.
yep. And then everyone's gonna shit in broken toilets.
The one truth of history. Everybody poops.
But
And if there's no plumbers, there's gonna be broken toilets everywhere.
and with no electricians, it'll be a shock with every shit.
So
Yeah.
so I've been kind of on and off for the last day or two. Been fighting with my internet not wanting to work, and frankly, I'm amazed it's been fine for the last 6 hours.
Nice.
So during that time it was off, I was like, "Oh, I need something to watch while I hopefully deal with this." And I painted minis. And ultimately, I was like, "Hey, I haven't watched Lupin the Third in a while, so I'm going back checking it out." And I'm like, "My God, there's just something great about it." And I'm going back to like the second series. It's the Red Jacket series
Mm-hmm.
that was all hand drawn. It is just a magical show. It's the dub is kind of shit, but I can't help but love it. And I always find myself going back to that. And speaking real quick of things always going back, we have someone coming in the back here. So guys, without
Oh.
further ado, let's give him a nice flipper of a welcome. Oops, wrong clip.
Really? That what just happened?
Someone spilled the Go-Gurt.
I was just excited to see you show up, Punkwaddle.
A little too excited.
You can leave the banana in your pants next time.
Oh, banana. Right. No, I'm totally.
Yeah. Take a
So how's everyone doing?
tall glass of water. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I made a mess.
well, yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
ah!
Like a turtle. It's like a turtle with a shoe.
Mhm.
Hey!
So now that I've completely derailed everything,
Welcome to the show, Punkwaddle. How are you doing?
good. All right. How long have you been going?
About an hour.
Oh, you started early tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Well, originally I was gonna end it a little early because I have to somehow squeeze in watching Ninja Scroll tonight before bed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I might go another 10-15 minutes and then we'll probably call it. But
Oh, okay.
Cool.
no sense of cutting it short just because of that. But how's your Memorial Day going there, Punkwaddle?
Pretty good. Pretty somewhat lazy.
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean yours sounds fun and all, but you didn't stop a car crash like I did.
You stopped a car crash.
I did.
Yeah, he was driving. He was going to crash his car, but then he stopped himself.
Oh, impressive.
No, I'm joking. How'd you stop the car crash?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like a play school Jeep.
Oh, okay.
The kids were getting rowdy on the playground, going 5 miles an hour.
Well, to be fair, my brother's been putting like power tool batteries into them to make them
Ah,
faster and last longer. So
Mhm.
it's never quite a simple thing. In fact, like
good idea in practice. In
That's
theory,
I
no.
can find this clip.
Okay.
I think I might have shown this off before, but to show you just kind of the nonsense we get up to here at the house. As we pull this up on screen.
Right.
That's actually pretty genius.
That's fun.
I mean, you gotta soup it up. You gotta go crazy with it sometimes. And I'm not gonna complain because it means he gets the mowing done, and if it means he gets to play with his toys.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
I looked at my brother. I'm like, yeah, you do that. Go nuts, because it means I don't have to mow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I see
That's a
this as an
win-win.
absolute win.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing something similar for Gator's Gator Mobile.
Oh no.
Oh,
Lazy day, Punkwaddle? Did you build any Gunpla?
No.
Oh, I finished 2 kits this weekend. Ooh.
Holy crap.
I know, right? I was
You-
surprised.
You built the Zagok at the
Yeah.
convention. What else did you finish?
The G-Quacks.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
They were having like a
snap.
speed build. I think they were speed building the HG Gundam Aerial,
Okay.
right? And it just got contagious, and I didn't mean to speed build, but I was speed building too.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, everyone's like, hurry up, I'm only at 5,
Did they get marked for leaving nubs or making it look clunky, or is it just?
It's completed, and I'm not sure if it was stickers. Armaments were needed. I'm not sure if it was stickers, but yeah, it was just mostly just like nubs. Nubs were okay if they weren't like drastically bad,
Mhm.
But it was mostly a speed build in its purest form. Yeah, it was the guys in Gundam Pros in Massachusetts. So
Cool.
I've been painting minis today,
Nice.
and I had like just gotten a big old order of like speed paints in, so I was like, oh cool, I can go get my army painted up. I'm totally gonna get through all these, and then
Yeah.
you get through like 10%.
about that. I think I managed to paint like 5 because I started like assembly line. Then I'm like, someone keeps calling me. I'm like, hey, and I'm gonna go show them off, and I'm like, oh hey, check it out, and then I drop one and break its legs.
Oh no.
I'm just waiting for that freaking that tabletop Gundam game coming in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh my god, it's gonna be lights over for my wallet for
Mhm.
for that August month.
Well,
Duh.
from what I was hearing about that recently, I think they've got it pushed off till next year.
Really?
Do they?
I'm afraid so.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because I think they want to really focus on getting the card game out, and plus,
Okay.
No.
I don't hate that too much, but it's like you give me us a bigger teaser, but that's okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and look at the website for that. Because, well, I want to be excited for it, but we also need to kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. No, I agree.
The heroic beginning. So we've at least got a core deck coming out, which is like the Gundam and Witch from Mercury,
Okay.
and we have a crying cat.
Really? They based it on they pushed Witch of Mercury just because it's the most recent completed.
Yeah, at the time, yes. Because okay, so but these little starter decks, it seems like will still have the Gundam Assemble Gunpla minis.
Okay.
Suppose I click more, learn more.
So they're Gundam Assemble minis.
Yes. So the little starter deck will come at least with a couple with like a mini or two for it. And yeah, as you see, the website now has it slated for 2026. So unfortunately, we gotta wait just a little bit longer.
Oh wait, Gundam Assemble. Oh wait, isn't I thought Gundam Assemble was its own thing already.
Well, Gundam Assemble is the tabletop mini game.
Okay.
It reminds me of the old Metabot game that used to be released back when the TV show was out.
I remember that.
I think that's on Amazon, or it was.
Yeah, because it was like Metabots is. Yeah, because I remember like you could buy them from Walmart or the Toys R Us at the time, and like the parts could come apart, and you would battle your friends. You would like take the parts from their robots, like they did in the series. I loved it. I thought it was great.
No, is it Gundam Ensemble? I'm trying to figure out the line.
Gundam Assemble.
All right, now.
Assemble.
3 Gundam assembles in each starter deck set.
Okay.
Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, right. Let me change back.
That's pretty detailed for a small figure.
You know, if there's any one thing that Bandai Namco is known for, and we can give props to, it's for that quality plastic they make. It's certainly up there, and at times it can rival GW for their own quality stuff, because a lot of Warhammer 40K stuff, from what I've seen, really does need to step up. There is a lot of need to step up in terms of the quality for the push fit, where they got to kind of make sure they get those sprues, those runners kind of trimmed better.
Yeah, they don't have the flash and some of the other stuff that other things are known for.
That's it. So, Heroic Beginnings will retail for $35. It'll come with the 3 minis and a 50 card deck.
Oh, nice.
The one thing I know for sure is that the 3D print designers are going to have a field day designing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, and I already know I'm ready. I've got my 3D printer ready to go burr as I make all the gunpla I want, including oh god, I wonder if I can find that. But I found a couple of files for like some Gundam girls.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to go and make things look a little nice.
I might have to get myself a 3D printer just so I can have a fleet of big Zams, because I don't think they'll be having big Zams.
Probably not. Not early on.
No, but I will make it a thing.
Oh, I
I
believe it.
can't. Okay, so we're gonna have like Unicorn and Suzabi and
Ooh.
Sharzaku's a set.
Nice. Yeah.
Same. No, but we're gonna have Sharzaku, a Zaku 2, and actually 2 Zaku 2s. TP07A and TP7B.
Nice.
Nice.
Because I remember early on we had. Wait. Was this the card or the figures?
Cards.
Okay. Never mind.
If we look at these cards, we actually have some promotional stuff out.
Yeah. I do know what you were trying to say.
those cards look
Punkwaddle.
good.
You were
Yeah.
trying to say you remember the showcase. They had a big showcase earlier.
Yeah.
Which yeah. Hey, look, it's Soletta.
And they have some solid art too. It's not all just stills from episodes of the anime.
Yeah.
It's a lot of kind of CG renders.
That's cool.
When paired, choose one enemy unit with 5 health or less, rest it. So, from a little bit I'm kind of gathering, and it seems to be that you're going to pair a pilot with a suit.
Mm-hmm.
And what these numbers over here mean, I'm not sure. One of them is probably going to be like a bonus to the attack. I'm sure if we were to look at like a mobile suit. Okay, 3 and 4, so maybe it's like an attack and a defense. So this has 3 attack, and Amuro gives +2, so there'll be a 5 to attack, and you have a 5 to defense.
Nice.
At your turn, this unit recovers a specific number of health. Repair 2, so heals 2 health. During pair, during your turn, all your units get AP 1. I will have to wait and see what that means.
Yep.
I'm surprised how good some of this art is. Hayato.
And unlike Daggerheart, you actually need these cards for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But all right, I think with that we probably call it for the night.
All right. That was cool.
Guys,
Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
no
coming by,
problem.
as always. Let's see. I've got the links. We should have the links for everyone here in the description have been dropped during the chat. So I'm gonna cut this a little bit short tonight, guys. But
Yeah.
let's do some more stuff during the week. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds
That
good to
sounds
me.
great. Well, you know what I'm doing tomorrow night? Tomorrow night I am doing a new Gunpla. Or not a new Gunpla. Well, one of my backlog Gunpla. I'm gonna crack into one of those. So that's gonna be tomorrow night. And then Wednesday we are doing our Cotton Collision.
Yeah.
With Gator and Punkwaddle. Ah!
Yeah.
No more